Hi, I'm Jeremy. Welcome to our farm, Cornucopia Orchards. Good morning, girls. You out here in your desert ready for some food? All right, let's get you going. So, these three ladies are slated for the butcher this fall. Early September is what it's looking like. So, they've pretty well eaten down the grass. Everything's dried up out there. We're specifically trying to keep them a little leaner than the last time through. So far we're doing that pretty well. And they're getting plenty of exercise. They've got to commute. They've got to make it from their usual lays about spot here. It's where their water is and any food we give them, scraps and whatnot. And they commute down and through and up into there. So it's just important that they get their steps in, you know. Here we are checking in on the chickens. Plenty of water as always. Boys have already been out, gathered some eggs. See if there's any more in there. Nope, none additional. That's pretty good for the morning. Hi, girls. And there in the back corner is where they actually prefer to put most of their eggs. Silly girls. Fast growing tree update. Growth mark for this year. Up to there. And for reference, I'm 6'1" or thereabouts. I can't even barely reach that leaf right there. And there's more above that one. She's growing really nicely. I wonder how tall she's going to end up being. I don't actually know what the timber form tops out at. 60 feet, 70 feet. Well, this should be the last day that this lift is in this position. Then we're taking it down low, and we have until Wednesday next week. End of the day, I believe Wednesday. We've got to take it back, and I'm hoping we have enough done. Today we should be off the peak and basically done with the top roof minus remainder of screws on this side over here. And it'll be the same on the far side, whatever we can't reach with the lift from the middle, hopefully nothing. And, you know, a little bit of gutter there, gutter down the back side, which has all got to be done off of this anyway. And hopefully we get, you know, the mini roof, we're calling it right there, the equivalent done on the other side and everything above it. That's what we're shooting for. Nice thing about up here is these are vertical. So wherever the scaffold is, it's just fine. We can work with that. And everything that's down in this area right through here, that can all be, you know, 2 scaffold platforms, and we might cobble together a walkway instead of paying for an additional, you know, $250, $300, $400 for a nice, you know, 16 to 20 foot long plank. Because all of this is horizontal, it's lap side versus the board and batten up here. All right, so I'm preparing this ridge cap here, and this is a raised side, so it's vented. This guy is a non-drip edge profile, which you can get, and it should still be fine. It's not what I thought I was ordering, like everything else. And I've got it set up here. So I've cut this off for fold, and I've cut this off for fold. And the left side here, I'm giving myself 3 inches, and I'll tell you why. It's going to fold over. And then on this side, I just got the angle of the roof by running this out here and then noting, you know, we're at 40, and then I just mark that line. And now I can cut this. I'll fold this one down, and then this one will lap that, and it should match the roof pitch. Yes, that is an aggressive mark relative to the angle of the metal itself at the peak, and that's because this, like everything else, was sent to me with the wrong angle. So it's going to be a bit of a fight to get this installed correctly. So to get this to bend, all I've done, since I can't use my hand seamer, it's only up to 1 inch, is I've just taken this, stuck it behind, and have it butt the bottom edge here, and then kept it in line with the corner there, and then I just hand bent this over and then did the same on the other side. And the thing that I was making sure of as I went is that this will tuck behind this when this goes into the proper position for its fold. So our driver today is going to be Casey. She is learning and practicing, and I'm not going to punish her with the camera too much while she's doing that. The main goal for today is to get the metal roof complete on top. We have our peak And essentially what we're going to do is we're going to go up here. I'm going to attach to rope, climb my way up once it's clean, because right now that roof is dirty, and we're going to get one bar clean for safe travel. So what do you think about the machine so far?
Easy peasy.
Beautiful. Anywhere where there's a joint between boards, caulk.
Okay, you might want to go get me another tube of caulk then.
That's a good idea. She's just turtly enough for the Turtle Club. Making it look beautiful. And the house is pretty nice too. So Casey's doing the last cleaning that needs to be done up there. So I have at least one row of sheet metal that I can climb and not be, on slippery dust. And once that's done, I'll be going up, hooking up, and then, I don't know, somebody, Casey, Dad, Ben, will take the lift down, grab a piece of metal, meet me up at the peak, and then I get to walk that down to the far end. I'll install it, come back for the second piece of metal, and then do the same thing. And walk is a bit of an exaggeration. I think it's going to be more like demented crab crawl, but one or the other.
Some more brown. What does your car look like?
My car looks like blue.
But what about Damien's car?
You could put the white brush in with the other white brush.
Casey is my charioteer. She's delivering me to the roof, and then I'm gonna climb up here and get into position. I'm gonna steal her glasses though, so I'll be heading up right through here. Well, so far so good. We've got the first piece kind of attached, got it, cut to length up here, a little butchered, but it's all gonna be underneath the ridge cap, and attached far enough down that we should be in good shape for kind of getting the next part of this going. So there's that. We've got, obviously that one's already done, and we'll have to come along with with up until at least here with our machine and make sure we're catching all the remaining screws. I think it should reach, because we can get closer on this end. Let me just throw you over the side there. I'm gonna park it right down there, come up past there, and then angle in. It's a shorter roof, not as far out, so we should be able to get around it better than on the top. Plus there's a parking pad below it. So that piece is sticking up, but I've got a little Sashco, little Lexel, and closure at the end there to keep all the crowd out and the bugs out. I gotta fix that when I get back down there, but these are going on so nice. So as I mentioned, these are on this side, and they're not supposed to be. It's supposed to be these type of fasteners, the rubberized washer head or whatever we call it. And so I just hit them with some Lexel, and then here's my foam closure. Really nice product, worth every penny in my opinion. Let's see if I can get this to go on here for you. That just goes over the middle. I'm just gonna press it down, and then it meets up with its buddy on that end. Very simple, really nice. Get that joined. And then you just gotta make sure it goes down really nice and tight. So I am cleaning these at the top. That's why I got this rag here. Make absolutely certain that we're in good shape for this installation. Well, the old phone said I'd pull it out of the pocket and it'd say, I'm too hot, I can't record. So I didn't get a whole lot more record up there, which is fine. I'll try and catch a little bit from on the lift, because I still have to get the very last little bit screwed down. But peak is done, ridge just done. Thank goodness for that. Cooking, I was cooking for sure. All right, last little bit of the roof. I did wait to come back to this because I was literally burning my skin in the heat of the sun earlier. So let me show you what I'm doing to finish this out. A little bit rounded on that ridge cap there, and some deformation, and that's just gonna be what it's gonna be. They gave me the wrong angle, so I had to make it work as best I could. Certainly not perfect, but trying to deal with this piece that's not working for me as close as I can get it. And I'm gonna go down and do the rest of the stuff I came up here to do, but I'm off the roof at least. Well, we've rearranged where our lift is. I've got the first two sheets. I just need to get some caulk on those still. This one still needs some nails down there. I reached as far as I can with that. Got a few that I need to pound a little bit better, but we're up here on the peak on the bottom section of the house, and the machine will reach, but just barely. We've got it kind of set in the middle and off to one side a little bit, and we're going to need to reposition it one more time in order to get the far edge here. So at this point I am leaning more towards us needing to have at least another week with the lift. So we'll see how things go. Plus, you know, just swing gently in the wind without my hardly moving. Feels good. So brother and I made some progress today. Hard to see from down here actually. We are ways away from the work site. That's what that guy is for. We got 3 sheets, not to the wind, thankfully. It was windy, but this house protected us from that. So the sheets didn't go flying, neither did I. A little bit left to do down here for the soffit material. I did caulk as I went, but obviously there's some paint touch-ups I need to do. Started out the little mini roof coming across. Pretty excited. Actually did get those 2 sheets on, and then have to manufacture a few more of these triangles that I'm using. You know, essentially 3 more working days on the lift, and I don't know that we're gonna make it. We'll see. So putting on this mini roof, missing a piece of fascia. I could scrap it in, but I don't want to. I want it one board. Blech. And one of the things to note is that you have to make sure that you're squared on these when you attach them on the outside. And I forgot on this one, so that's why you can see it creeps inwards as you go up. The other side over here, there's a little bit of a gap because I was trying to make sure that I was down on it over here. I pulled it this way. So that's why there's too little up here, well, barely any down here. So it's a little bit of an extra gap on that piece, but if you make sure these are squared up, then you don't have that problem. And you can just use your speed square for that. Just pop it in right here. I have to get yet more zip tape, still more zip tape, always more zip tape. And once we have that, then I can run all of this metal and put all of my sheet metal on, and we can get all of our blue stretching up, and everything will be good in the land of the house. Boys and I are making another trip in to get some more zip tape. Zip tape 45 trips. I just keep using it. Great stuff, but how many times have we gone in, boys?
58.
Good morning. We're on the east face and working on getting this miniature roof up. A couple days left on the lift rental. You can see we're already down to just the back pieces, and I'm working right here, getting these corners finished out, starting to put on the metal trim. And once that's on, all of the actual sheets are pre-bent, so this should be pretty quick and easy to get this all knocked out, and then we can get started on the blue sheets. And if we can get the blue sheets and the very highest up trim and batten done, then we're probably not going to be renting the lift a second time, which is what I'm hoping for. So same as before, we're going to have a double trim piece. We're going to bend one of these actually to work right through here. There's a Z piece that's going to go on the bottom, and then that one will go on the top. So it's a 2-piece, and then we'll know exactly what we need for here, because it needs to stay off the metal by about 1 inch. I've got this kind of just roughed where it's going to go as a guide. I'll probably take it off so I can easily screw in all of the parts and pieces up into the tops and get the, you know, the caulk done and everything else, but just as a guide for us. And then everything else is just, and we got the bottom flash needs to go on, and then I need to put in a block here. This is joined in between with a cross piece but it's only a 2x4. And so you can see that that's bumping out. I got to get that caulked, but first I'm gonna correct that. Done down to here and over to here and back in here. We're on this project again. So I have the same depth out roughly as the roof metal will be. This is that Z flash that I made on the other side. Same thing. I'm doing a little differently. I've got it fully up underneath all the way down to here, which should match up pretty well to the soffit as it comes down. And then it butts into this, the fascia, because the fascia is a greater depth, 2x8 instead of 2x6. So that should match well. And we're gonna get another piece of metal in here, and that will cap onto that with some butyl, and then that gives us our space we're working with in here to be able to seal that off and prevent any water that gets on the underside, you know, get it where we want it to be and out. This is going to get screwed down and then taped back just like any other flash on the deck. All right, so this opposite corner of where we were, I'm about to put in the angle piece for this. Did remember to make sure I got this bent up so I didn't have to use anything else in that space, like a Z behind it. This I did not. I'm not going to worry about it. It's right there, and anything that gets back here is just going to come down at the edge anyway. So, but butyl is on, so now it's time for my bent piece and see how that fits. The answer is not bad. I'll be able to stuff a foam closure up underneath there, and you know, right through here and back into there. Not the best cuts I've ever done in the world, but it should work pretty darn well, actually. Got to get this secured. You can see the butyl just on the edge of that strip there, and then put a couple of screws down through along that edge. So you might be able to see it in the video. I don't know. I can sure see it, and I'll bring it close so you can see it, but I have a little problem here, and that is that I thought I had left those boards stacked separate to dry long enough, and apparently I did not, because when we pulled these boards apart, they left little teeny patches that are going to need painted all over the boards. We're putting them up anyway. We're going to try and hit that all in one, because we're going to have to touch up any of the exposed nails, especially on the battens, when we get to that step. Hopefully we aren't just causing ourselves a lot of extra work, but I mean, I just don't have a space to leave boards lying around when I do these big batches, and if I can't do a big batch, then what's the point? Good progress. That corner is all done in as far as the metal and the soffit goes. We brought it down to here with that full taped back and everything. You can kind of see the guts of what all this is. This is cut in to allow the other piece to slide over and have a good joint lap. And you know, we're going to be working on this. Dad's cutting those pieces, and he's going to come back. We're going to measure and cut that piece, and the trim here, other than the header, is all going to go on top of the blue boards, the same as what we're doing for that upper corner piece there, that angle that follows the soffit. And so, you know, we're not putting them on just now. I'm running through these sheets of metal as fast as I can, trying to get this knocked down to the end here so that, you know, we can hit this and hopefully get all the blue on and that soffit on tomorrow. And ideally, maybe even get it touched up paint-wise. I don't know, we'll see. If we could do that, that would mean that we would be in a good enough shape to be able to, you know, get the gutters and such put on for this upper roof and the gutter guards, and then I would feel really great about turning this lift back in. I don't know if we'll make it.
Thanks for watching. I hope you have a great day, and we'll see you next time.